Urgent, Day Bears fan! Look at what just happened. Nobody saw this coming, huh? But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we bring you daily videos with the latest your team news. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Bears trade proposal swaps. No. 10 pick for $21 million sack artist. The Chicago Bears have hammered the trade and free agent markets over the past few weeks, fortifying the front lines on both sides of the football. But as the NFL draft approaches in late April, there remains one stark need in the defensive huddle. Contributors to SB Nation's Windy City Gridiron WCG roundly agreed that Chicago is in need of another defensive end. Arguments can be made for a rotational player like Zadarius Smith, whom the Detroit Lions recently released. However, a splash move at the position isn't without merit. You need many bodies there to rotate and keep guys fresh. The Bears have made moves, but they could still use a 1A rusher to complement Montez Sweat, Sam Householder of WCG wrote on Sunday, March 23rd. Dayo Odeyingbo is a bit of an unknown, but there isn't anyone other than Grady Jarrett who will likely command double teams. Chicago can take a swing on a rookie pass rusher with the number 10 pick, or the franchise could use that asset to explore a trade for an established edge defender like Trey Hendrickson of the Cincinnati Bengals, which would almost certainly prove more immediately effective than any other path. Bengals, still asking too much in trade for Trey Hendrickson. Cincinnati just spent more than $275 million on two wide receivers, $161 million for Jamar Chase over 4 years, and $115 million on T. Higgins across the same span. Quarterback Joe Burrow also recently inked a 5-year contract worth $275 million of his own. All of that has the Bengals heavily invested in the offensive side of the football and has left minimal room for a Hendrickson deal. As such, the Bengals have afforded the star pass rusher permission to seek a trade. However, little has come of that because Cincinnati's reported asking price has been too high for any interested teams to actively consider. Teams are willing to pay Trey Hendrickson the contract that he desires, but have found Cincinnati's current asking price to be ridiculous, as one GM told me. Diana Rossini of The Athletic reported on March 13th. The Bengals can adjust as the offseason progresses, but right now teams aren't willing to meet their terms. Bears can make competitive offer for Trey Hendrickson. With 10th pick, neither Rossini or any other league insider has reported precisely what that asking price is, but it is presumably higher than a single first-round pick. However, as the draftee gets closer, the Bengals will be more likely to abandon an ask that may be more negotiating position than actual expectation. Hendrickson has earned Pro Bowl honors in each of the past 4 seasons, earned a first-team All-Pro selection in 2024, and finished second in NFL Defensive Player of the Year voting last season as he led the league with 5 sacks. That said, he will play next season at 31 years old on a $21 million deal, after which he will become an unrestricted free agent. Spotrac projects Hendrickson's market value at $63 million over a new 2-year deal. If the Bengals can't or don't intend to pay Hendrickson that kind of money, then dealing him now could make more sense than keeping an unhappy player an extra year. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reported last week that Hendrickson may sit out games as part of a contract holdout, and the closer he gets to free agency, the less value the Bengals will be able to extract in return. Cincinnati's defense was a serious problem last season, as was its offensive line. The franchise has not done much to address either issue, and the best way to do so after all the money it's paid its skill position players is to acquire youthful talent on rookie deals. That means acquiring draft assets. Chicago holds a valuable one with the 10th pick. Pausing this news, just to say that if you want YouTube to keep recommending the latest The Monsters of the Midway news to you, it's very important that you leave a like on this video. Thanks. Now let's get back to the news. Bears find their speed. Receiver, Inc. 2-time Pro Bowl returner. Over the past week, the Chicago Bears seem to have turned their attention to adding a speed wide receiver, hosting free agent wide receivers Mecole Hardman and Rondale Moore. On the heels of signing former Washington Commanders wide receiver Olamide Zaccheaus to a 1-year deal, the Bears seemingly were targeting competition for Tyler Scott. With Zaccheaus likely serving as the Bears' slot wide receiver, the Bears were looking for a speed option for their 4th wide receiver. A profile the Bears thought they were drafting when they selected Scott in the 2023 NFL Draft. Chicago Bears find their new return specialist It seems that the Bears may have found Scott's replacement as they signed Devin Duvernay to a one-year deal. Duvernay has earned his keep in the NFL as a return specialist. Duvernay was selected to the Pro Bowl as a member of the Baltimore Ravens in 2021 and 2022 and earned All-Pro honors as a returner in 2021. While carving out a Pro Bowl career as a return specialist, Duvernay has yet to find much success on offense during his stops with the Ravens and Jacksonville Jaguars, a third-round pick of the Ravens in the 2020 NFL Draft. Duvernay's best offensive season was in 2022 when he totaled 407 receiving yards on 37 receptions. Duvernay also sprinkled in 84 rushing yards with the Ravens in 2022. Duvernay spent the 2024 season with the Jaguars but was not much of a factor in their offense, totaling 79 receiving yards on 11 receptions. Given his speed, it will be interesting to see how Ben Johnson could utilize Duvernay in his offense. While Jameson Williams is the ceiling for what a speed wide receiver can do in Johnson's offense, Duvernay has a different profile than what the Bears already have on their roster. While Duvernay's offensive role has yet to be determined with the Bears, his arrival could close the revolving door the Bears have had for their return specialist in recent seasons. Why Eric Bieniemy will determine if Bears take Ashton Jeanty. Ben Johnson assembled the best coaching staff he could in January and February, while defensive coordinator Dennis Allen, wide receivers coach Atwan Randall, and secondary coach Al Harris get most of the love. Running backs coach Eric Bieniemy might be the biggest steal. Prior to his unfortunate setbacks in Washington and UCLA, he had a glittering reputation as a running backs coach in Minnesota and Kansas City. One could argue he was the best in the business. Part of the job isn't just developing players. It is identifying who the special ones could be. Chicago faces a conundrum with their 10th overall pick. Many feel they are a prime landing spot for Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty. The Chicago Bears have some rough recent history with first-rounder at that position, Rashaan Salam Curtis. Ennis and Cedric Benson were all taken in a 10-year span between 1995 and 2005. All were busts. Bieniemy knows a thing or two about first-round running backs, too. He saw an all-time flop with Kajana Carter in Cincinnati. Then he saw an all-time great arrive in Minnesota with Adrian Peterson. If anybody can instruct the Bears on the possible pitfalls of taking Jeanty, it's Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy knows which red flags to look for. It wasn't hard to determine with Carter. Despite his incredible success at Penn State, people should have noted that it came despite never truly being a heavy workhorse in the offense. In either of his seasons as a starter, he never eclipsed 200 carries. That should have raised concerns about whether his body could handle a full workload in the NFL. Sure enough, his career was marked by several devastating injuries. By contrast, Peterson did it twice at Oklahoma. His only health setback was a broken collarbone in a freakish accident. The same was true of Morris Jones-Drew, who Eric Bieniemy coached at UCLA. He never eclipsed 200 carries there and ended up going in the second round. That was a much smarter risk to take. So, is Jeanty worth it? Yes. He cleared the 200 mark twice. At Boise State, never missing a single game in the process. He's proven his body can take the pounding without breaking down, and the production speaks for itself. Unless there is some character red flag that emerges during interviews, Bieniemy is certain to give the Bears a green light. And now, Da Bears. Fan, I want to hear from you. What's your opinion on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I don't know if you know this, but your opinion matters a lot for Da Bears. He'll be back any moment with more. The Monsters of the Midway News.